Hey guys, intake manifold. This is just my take, my take on intakes. My thought on intake manifolds, street manifolds. This one is a Mopar M1, and this is a really nice intake. I really like these intakes. They work from idle to around 6,000 RPM. So they're really good for the street, and they're also good for racing. I got to thinking about intakes because I saw some old photos of a 318 that I had that the guy put he put an Edelbrock torquer on it with a bone stock 318, a set of headers, and a 276 geared 7 1/4 rear end. And he couldn't figure out why the car was such a dog. Well, the torquer is a single plane, and it doesn't start working until after 2,500 RPMs. And with that gear, a 904 automatic, a bone stock, tired 318, it's going to be a dog. And there's a video that I put on. It was a baby burnout in my driveway, was the name of the video. And it shows me just doing a little burnout in my driveway as I'm pulling into my garage. That was after I put the M1 intake on it, on that tired 318 with 276 gears and a 7 1/4 rear end. And before that, with the torquer, the car could not get out of its own way. You couldn't spin a tire, you couldn't do anything because it didn't work until it was up in the RPM range. And with that combination, and a motor as tired as it was, you're never going to get that. But I like these M1s. I like the Edelbrock Performers. This is very similar to that. It's very similar to a stock cast iron 68 to 71 340 intake, and even the thermoquad intake on 72, 73, 74 are very similar as well. It's just that it's a thermoquad carburetor. It's a bigger carburetor. Like tunnel ramps and stuff like that on the street, unless you have the gear, the cam, and the compression, those intakes, the tunnel ram, the torquer, some of the open plenum ones, Street Master and stuff like that, are not really going to work out too good for you, in my opinion. Unless, of course, like I said, you have the right combination to go with it. But you don't really want to build an engine around an intake manifold, at least I don't think so. You normally would get the intake that would match your combination, your gear, and what you want to do with it. But as far as a street engine goes, and maybe even a weekend warrior, like if you want to take it to the drags once in a while, these intakes are great. It's not a LD4B 340 intake, which, if you look at the LD4B, the only difference between the stock 340 intake, the thermoquad intake on 72 and up, and the newer style intakes is right here. Right here. These two are swapped. This would be number 2 and number 4. And if you look at the runners on them, they're transposed. And I don't know if that made any difference with the LD4B, the 340 one, or what. But I mean, everybody revels about those intake manifolds, and I don't know. I never used one. I never had one. And as far as cutting out the divider in the center, I wouldn't do it. I mean, if I was going to do something like that, I would just go and I'd get a single plane intake. Why ruin an intake manifold? In my opinion, especially one like that, to get more upper RPM horsepower. The dual plane for the street, in my opinion, this M1, I love it. The dual plane M1 intake manifold, I love it. Unfortunately, you can't get these anymore. They were made by B&B Foundry, I think. And I don't know if they're still around or not. And even if they are, they probably don't make them anymore, just like everything else today. These Chinese manifolds, I tried one. They're junk. They're junk. I had a stock engine, and I tried to put one. It was similar to the Crosswind. It's the same manifold. It was just something that I bought off eBay. It was $129. So I figured, what the hell? I'll try it. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. In my opinion, don't buy them. They're junk. I couldn't get the bolts in it. I don't know if it was a shift in the mold in the casting or what it was, but I could not get the bolts to line up to the heads. I can get some of them in, but then the other ones, they just didn't line up. So I don't even know how they run. I know some guys had good luck with them. Maybe they were early forgings. Or early castings. I don't know. But I would stay away from those. Stick with the American-made stuff. I hear a lot of different stories about Wyand, and some of the other companies are foreign-made now. I don't know. The Wyand Stealth manifold is really nice. That's what I was going to get, but I ended up getting a deal on the M1 that I have on that 360 right now. This is a spare one that I bought from a really cool guy. And I got it at the time. I got a pretty good deal on it because it was brand new. He just used it for a mock-up on an engine, and I grabbed it from him. But yeah, if you don't have the gear, you don't have the cam, you don't have the compression, I would stay away from open plenums and single planes. Stick with the dual planes, and sometimes you'll even get more performance out of a two barrel. You can get like a 360 two barrel manifold, and you'll get a little bit more out of that. But yeah, like I said, I was just looking at some photos today, and I saw that photo of the 318 with that torquer intake, and I wanted a lap, but yeah, it was a dog. I mean, as soon as I changed that intake, that thing woke right up, and it was a really, really tired engine. So check out the RPM ranges on these manifolds before you buy them, guys. Even if you buy them used, I would go to Summit or Jags or whoever and check what they have in their listing for that manifold and look at the RPM range. And if you just have a street car, you don't need to wake it up. I mean, you don't need to have something that's not going to start working until you're up 2,500, 3,000, 3,500 RPMs. And only work to the same RPM range as this. I mean, maybe you'll get 7,500 out of a torquer, but they're listed for I think 6 or 6,500, which this is also, but this one will work off idle. So check on things first. My opinion. This is just my opinion. You take it for whatever it's worth, and enjoy yourself. Make something that's going to be a winner for whatever you're doing, not something that's going to fall on its face. But thanks for watching, guys. See you again.